Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is Wednesday morning. Welcome to the Human Empowerment Experience with Sensei David Hill, the Kettlebell trainer.
And Coach Kendra McLaughlin,
So
a
happy
sidekick.
sidekick. Whoa, did you
Sidekick.
see that? Anyway, so excited to have you here this morning. I am feeling fantastic this morning for a Wednesday morning early at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. We have lots of friends from all over the world, so that's why we do that. Anyway, can you guess what I want to talk about this morning?
No, I cannot. I have not a clue.
Not a clue. Okay. And this is the truth. I always spring this on him. He never knows what the conversation is going to be about, which is actually so much more fun, right? So this morning, I want to talk about, well, first of all, I want to ask you to do an experiment on yourself today. It sounds interesting, but I want you to take a look and a listen and a thoughtful listen today as you go throughout your day and see how many times you judge other people or things or circumstances based on what you're seeing at the moment. Judgment of others. So I want you to take a minute today and really,
The social media account?
yeah, pay attention when you see something or somebody doing something. Are you trying to learn from them, or are you automatically judging what you see in your eyes before you have all of the information? And the reason I bring this up, and I'm learning from this as well, and my post this morning is about learning from good experiences, it's learning from bad experiences or negative experiences, it's learning from everything. So I'm learning this morning as well, because we posted a video of us in the car with Bugaboo, and we got a response from a friend of mine who I love dearly, who said something about don't drive with a dog on your lap. But here's the rest of the story. Most normal dogs, I would say, yes, that's true. You know, you should have them secured somewhere in the back or on the back, or whatever. Bugaboo happens to be a Schipperke. And if anybody knows anything about a Schipperkes can literally climb up rocks. They have this
chain link fences.
They have a gripping ability
ladders
that no other dog has. So
that, and they're probably tougher than you.
Bugaboo is on our lap while we're driving or while we're riding, and she's actually safer there than in the back seat because we also have a grip on her. But she is different than other normal dogs, and we get people all the time that are just amazed by the things that she literally can climb up a rock, and she's small. So I understand the concern, but before you judge what other people are doing in their lives, it's a good idea to ask some questions or to get to know the people better, in the situation better, because judging others is just a reflection of yourself. So, and a lot of times you get the story wrong. You conjure up a story in your head and then you judge others for it. So, and I do the same thing. I've done the same thing. I'm guilty of the same thing. You may see someone homeless on this, or someone that looks scraggly on the side of the road, and what is the first thing? Or someone begging for money. We have that a lot in our cities here in the state of Maine. Do you automatically place a judgment on that person? Oh, that person is lazy. That person is dumb.
When I had my martial arts school, I used to teach a lot of kids, and this is what I would tell them. I say, look, if you're going to criticize somebody, first walk a mile in their shoes, because that way you'll be a mile away, and you'll have their shoes. So it'll be a lot easier.
And it really teaches us to really, instead of using judgment about what we see and about the story that we make up in our mind about what we see, is to really get to know really the circumstance of the situation before you make a judgment on that. It really makes a difference. And it could be the other way around. Maybe you see someone that looks like they have it all together, and the first judgment that you have is, oh, that person has their shit together, when they actually don't, and they're suffering on the inside.
My favorite today is that if you disagree with somebody about anything, and then decide that you know what they mean by everything else that they say or believe, you're wrong. Sorry, but you can't do that. I know it's a temptation. Everybody loves to do it. Everybody's into this judgment phase of their, it's the political scene.
Yeah, and trying to understand somebody, trying to look at their side of things, trying to see what they're doing instead of judging them as a person or judging what they're doing, or is going to be helpful to you too. And I learned from this experience that I had this morning, and I have to take a look at what I'm doing as well. So, we all do it. It's an automatic human nature thing, and when we see other people doing it, we do it more. But it is a good thing to take a look at, and how often are you judging others or yourself? That's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
You judge yourself all the time, so it's a good thing to take a look at. I'd like to hear your experiences with that. So as you go along today, if you want to send me a message about this and about your thoughts about this, that would be super awesome. And so we are here today. Well, we're here to actually do a kettlebell training. So Sensei David Hills, what are we starting on this morning?
Warm-ups.
Warm-up. Okay. We have here joining us today.
AJ, Reno, Aaron, Michelle.
Brianna. Okay, Brianna is like a really good friend of my daughter Kat's. She's known Kat ever since they were in second grade.
Oh, so
she lives near my mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's an amazing family. I've known her for a long time. David and I are going to see Kat on the 21st for a whole week. So we're flying out to California. She called me yesterday. She's super excited for us to fly out and show us around. And we're going to go head up to the Redwood Forest and in the Pacific Ocean. So I'm super excited about that. But so good to see you. It's so good to see you.
All right, Joe. Get your kettlebell.
Actually,
you don't need it yet. We're still going to warm up.
Okay.
We don't need it to warm up.
Let's do a quick warm up.
Let's do a quick warm up. Get the blood moving.
I'll do a little dance while we're waiting for.
Right. Okay. Bounce.
So I've been doing a little bit of yoga after our kettlebell sessions. My shoulders are feeling it. And speaking of yoga, I am creating a program for Guild Coaching, which is where I do my coaching. I have a coaching program on trauma and addiction recovery, and I am creating a yoga program for renewal and recovery. It's a trauma yoga, so it's not a heavy duty yoga, but it's been great. So that's coming out probably beginning of October. So you can keep your eyes posted on it. Oh, that
big circles.
Big circles. So we're gonna get our shoulders warmed up and get the synovial fluid going in our shoulders. Doing this with my shoulders has really made a difference in terms of I've never really had any issues with my shoulders. And I think it's because I've always worked them. Speaking of judgment, if you are looking at our workouts and you're judging them and saying, I can't do that. This is too hard. Wow, this is something that I don't know about or I've never done. And, that's
a lot of people judge me because I don't have six-pack abs. Because I'm a better cook than you are.
Yeah, he is a really good
Quit judging me.
But if you're judging the workout by just looking at it, what I would suggest you do is try it before you judge it. And don't just try it for a day or a week. Try it for a few weeks and see how you like it. I actually really, really love it. It's quick. It helps you move your body the way it's supposed to move. So when you're doing regular functional things during the day, you're able to do it with ease and sustainability as you grow older, like we all are doing. Gonna move our necks the right, it'll be your left. And just going to do a full circle gently.
Other way.
And we're going to go the other way. And all of our, as our mentor says, all of the cells in our body are starting to wake up and they're starting to have a party inside of our body as we do this warm up. And hip flexor, hip rotation to the right. And any of these warm ups are great for everybody to do. You know, and if you don't think they make a difference, you're wrong.
Out of the way.
Do you like my singing?
It's okay to judge people if you do it in a sing-songy way.
Right. I did this, Judge, didn't I? It's so hard. Okay. Oh boy. Stop calling me out on my wrong actions. You know, this is exactly what our life is like during the day, the whole day. And it's going to be interesting because we actually have a tile job to do today to start. So it should be fun.
Yeah, out in the public.
Pretty comical.
Okay.
Do you feel warmed up?
I'm warmed up.
Okay.
Now I think we're doing good. We need to go ahead and grab our kettlebells.
Okay.
If I forgot to get
I know. No, it's a kettlebell length workout. Let me see if anybody else has joined us. We have, we don't have anybody else on there but my butt. And then you see afterwards that you've been watching.
Right.
So we don't call your name on this because you can't see your name on there, but you can put a message below if you're
James Smith. Good morning, James. All right. Shall we?
Yeah. What would you like to work on first?
All right. So let's grab our kettlebell, put it between our feet.
I'm going to move your camera a little bit because they cannot see you in your Facebook. There we go.
All right. Kettlebell between your feet.
Which one should I be using?
Big. Bring your stomach up. Imagine somebody's going to punch you in the stomach.
Whoa.
Right? Gently fire your glutes, like somebody's going to punch you in the butt. Does anything happen? Doesn't really happen. But imagine it's going to happen. I could do it. Imagine I'm doing it.
You do this sometimes.
I do. Okay. Hold it down. Sit back into your stance. Grip the kettlebell. Seat your shoulders. Keep your abs fired and drive into the heels to pick it up. Going back down. Back. Forward.
I think for me, that was the hardest thing to do because I was so used to using my back when I bend down. And I'll be honest with you, you're the first person that I've met that I was like, when I saw you bending down to pick something up one day, I was like, wow, he bends down in the correct way. His hips go out to the back, and he's not using his back, but he's using his legs and glutes and core.
Okay. Take the kettlebell, change to the other side. Back and forth. Small movement, swaying with the body, hips going back, hips going forward. Don't bend your knees. If they do bend, it's only a few degrees.
You're using your hips.
So I'm using my hips and momentum here.
And the core. I still have my shoulders seated.
Pick it up a little higher now.
Ooh, I didn't expect that. Yeah, I've done these before.
And bring it to the rack position. Take the other hand and bring it over the top. Swing the kettlebell across so that you've racked it on the other side. And bring it back. And again. Now, I've got the kettlebell in my right hand. I'm going to put most of my weight on my right leg. So this one is light to the ground. I'm going to shift onto that leg as I switch to the other side. Here. 1. Here. 2. Set it down.
That seems heavy to me today.
Yep.
Not sure why.
Stand beside the kettlebell, so I'm going to put the kettlebell to my left. Standing with my feet fairly close to each other. There we go. Now, put one leg behind you, touching your toe. Fold at that one hip until you reach the kettlebell. Now, do not do this, bending your back. Your back is going to stay straight. If you have a stick that goes from your tailbone to your cranium, you've ever heard of somebody walking with a stick up their butt, like military people, right? It's because their spine is straight. And you can make fun of them all you want, but they're going to live longer than you if their spine is straight. Particularly if you do it under load.
I think Bugsy wants to get down.
I think you should stay. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to put that toe behind you. You're going to fold at the hip until you can reach the bell. And then you're just going to stand. So I'm going to turn sideways to show how this works. And it looks like this. That foot can come right up off the ground.
Okay.
1.
Now you're bending the foot that you have down, you've got the knee bent.
Slightly. It's just like the swing. 4. If you really want a challenge, don't touch that back foot to the ground. When you get to 10, change hands for the other leg. Now, it doesn't have to touch the ground. Go as low as you can with good form. Seven. 3 more. You can try this without the kettlebell if you like.
It really challenges your balance.
Yes, indeed.
And you may have better balance on one leg and not the other.
Absolutely.
I find that happens.
Way down, Bugs.
She's going to jump down. So we're talking about Bugsy. Can you show her?
With the cone of shame today.
Well, Bugsy got spayed yesterday. So she's going to wear that darn cone. What a night that was last night. I think, I don't know who's taking it harder, us or her.
Okay. Bring your kettlebell up to a rack position. Going to work our forearms a bit. So from the rack position, rotate. 1, 2.
So if you want to go up to the camera and show them exactly what you're doing a little closer.
4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Change hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Okay. Now, it's easy to keep your shoulders seated during this rotation of the lower arm because my elbow's bent. If I was to straighten my arm and do the same thing, the upper arm should remain motionless because I have secured it here on this end by seating my shoulder. This is the next exercise. So, same thing, 5 on each side from a pressed position. So, bring your kettlebell to the rack. Press it overhead. Take the other hand, reach it around behind your head, pull that arm to your ear, holding onto the upper arm to make sure that it doesn't rotate. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull it in. Change hands. Press it. Grab the upper arm. Rotate. 1. Control. 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull it in. Set it down. Beautiful.
That was different. That was new.
Yeah, there's a lot of new stuff. There's a lot of different stuff that we can start to integrate now if you've been following along. If you haven't been following along, go to the YouTube channel, go back and watch these workouts from the beginning. Learn this stuff. You got to do it right. If you don't do it right, you're going to hurt yourself.
And those are the basics that we have on those YouTube channels.
Okay, bring your kettlebell to the rack position.
What are we working on?
Lunges.
Okay.
Okay. Starting with stepping backwards, opposite leg, and down. Go back up. 1, 2,
So we're working a lot of things here.
3,
Core, glutes, hamstrings.
4. Going to 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change to the other side. Stepping back opposite leg. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 10.
Whew. It's funny because that's another judgment. If you're looking at those, you're like, oh, that looks really easy. Like they're not working anything. Well, in reality, several different things that we're working on our body: strength,
Stabilization,
balance,
coordination, endurance.
discipline, mindset, presence. So some of it's physical, some of it isn't.
Okay.
And all of these things help us in the real world when we're having our daily life.
Okay, we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna step forward.
Okay.
We're gonna do 5 on each side. And again, we're gonna do it in a pressed position.
You mean?
So we're gonna have kettlebell press, lunge.
I don't know. Yeah.
I would go with the lighter weight.
Okay.
This is gonna be a challenge not to bend the arm. You wanna keep that back arm with the weight in it locked. Don't bend the wrist, straight wrist, lock the elbow, seat the shoulder. Here we go. Press it overhead. Keeping it locked, stepping with the opposite leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull it in. Press it. Lock it. Step with the opposite leg. 1,
Yes.
3, 4. Pull it in. Same thing. Now, if I could have you press your arm for a moment. A lot of times people have a hard time getting it to lock all the way. Here's the key. The tricep, the back of your arm. This is what you have to fire. If you fire this all the way, it straightens the elbow. Now, pull it in. You should be able to do this. See how it folds my ear over when I come forward? It's going to brush my ear forward and back.
I mean,
That's your goal right there. Feel it?
Yeah.
That's your cue, your tactile cue of whether or not you have your arm fully upright is that it brushes your ear as you do it. It takes a while to understand what the work is. Once you know what the work is, then you can do
Charlotte and my sister Tammy. Hi, Charlotte. Good morning. Love you. And my sissy Tammy is watching. And she's been watching every morning. I hope you're joining us, Tammy, for this
it.
epic workout.
All right.
What do you want to do next?
I think what I'd like to do is some snatches.
Okay.
I'd like to do 20 snatches. So use whatever kettlebell. Going with the big one.
Well, I've done snatches with my bigger one before, so.
Okay. So here we're gonna do 5, 5, 5, 5.
Rolls.
Grab the kettlebell, pick it up. Seat your shoulder. Hand all the way overhead. 1.
Maybe I'll use this.
Maybe the smaller one. Keep it up there, lock it. Work on your lockout position. Here we go. 2, 3. We're gonna go to 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change hands. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pull it in, set it down.
That's one of the things that I love about doing this work is the work that is on my shoulders,
Bina,
my upper body.
Michelle Miles Pruitt, Richard Spalding. How are you folks doing?
Who's good here? Erin! Our friend Erin. Hey, Erin. She's the one that you liked on her profile that she was, what was the word that you thought was really funny? No, she was.
Oh my gosh.
Erin,
Ethereal dumpster fire.
Yeah.
That is the coolest.
You guys took the kick out of that and out of your profile. You're an amazing person and so happy to know you, but he's like, hey, look at this. He just thought that was awesome. I love it when we're all in our truth, no matter what it is. You know what I mean?
Hey, man.
When we know something about ourselves and we say the truth and we are who we are and we accept who we are. And, it's just amazing to meet people that are doing that. And are we all done? Is that what
we are? We're done.
That was quick and easy. But we want to thank you for joining us this morning, and we hope that you got some inspiration out of the piece that we did before we did the kettlebell training, which was about judging others and judging yourself, and really learning the whole story before you start judgment on other people. And then we did that wonderful kettlebell training. If you haven't joined us, you need to point to yourself and say, I need to join the kettlebell and actually do it in the morning. That was actually a good workout. I'm sweating.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
We are sending all of you love, joy, peace, and happiness to everyone in the world today who needs it, and particularly those who are suffering today, sending you lots of love and peaceful healing energies. My friend Kevin, I think, was out of the hospital last night from his blood infection. And so he's on his way, but he's on his way home and on his way to mending. So sending all those healing energies out to everyone who's suffering today in the hope that they may find some peace and joy in their world. We are here to empower other humans to be the best that they can be. That's what we do, and also empower ourselves to be the best that we can be as well. Sending, well, I already sent love and stuff.
Yeah, you sent it here this morning.
We'll
see you guys tomorrow.
I have like the biggest goodbye message. I don't want to go. That's fine. I love having everybody here and everybody joining us. Anyway, love you guys. Have a fantastic day. We'll see you tomorrow morning here, bright and early, 6 a.m. for another kettlebell training. Take care. Enjoy your day. Bye, guys. Have a great day.
Erin Michelle says, your cam is better, Kendra? I switched.
My camera.
Yeah. Must be, maybe they're talking about your,
Yeah, my phone camera.
okay, I'm thinking it's probably that camera.
This?
Yeah.
No, that's not even, that's only, that's not public. Just on the
Oh.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Is this, this is
It's still going.
still going.
You have to cut that piece out.
Yeah.